Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Listening and Responding. This is where I take a few minutes every week to share with you and reflect on a topic related to Sunday's message. And the goal of this podcast is to leave you with something to think about as you go through the week as we're learning to follow the way of Jesus. And so we are in week 2 of our series on encountering the Holy Spirit. And if you didn't get a chance to listen to this week's message, Josh did a fantastic job on a message called Unlocking True Freedom. And I just want to encourage you to take a listen. Josh gets deeply personal about his journey with the Holy Spirit. And I can say, we all can relate to a struggle with sin, with selfish desires and our selfish nature. And so Josh shared how the Holy Spirit met him and what that transformation looked like and in one encounter, but also the ongoing work of the Holy Spirit to help him and of us, of course, mature and become more and more like Jesus. And you know what? It's a process, but there are encounters with the Holy Spirit that bring about immediate change. And I'm going to share a bit of an example in my life too. And so he pointed out that real freedom doesn't come from trying hard on our own, from letting the Holy Spirit guide us. We can't do this stuff on our own. The Holy Spirit intends to make clear that his voice is stronger than the voice of the flesh, which is anger and fear and pride and lust and greed and selfishness. And the voice of the Spirit allows us to develop qualities like love and joy and peace and patience and self-control. So Josh encourages everyone in his message to be filled with hope that the Holy Spirit continues to move in power and brings not only his presence to sustain us, but freedom to overcome sin. It's the Holy Spirit's work that gives us the ability to call God Abba Father, as one who knows God and is known by him. And he leaves us with a question: will you allow the Holy Spirit to bear witness in you, in your heart, so that the cry of Abba Father would be strengthened in you, not just to bear with those things that we struggle with, but to struggle with them, because that struggle it shows us that we're moving, that we're making progress, because there's an actual clash going on between our flesh and the Spirit. And so the encounter with the Abba Father, the encounter with the loving, wise, and tender God reorients everything from ourselves to him. And it's not so much that you experience him, but that he experiences you. And I have experienced some similar moments in my life with the Holy Spirit where a desire was just like removed, where I just couldn't do it anymore because I literally felt sick. Or even like just completely losing the desire, having that desire just goes. And it was literally replaced with a stronger desire for more of God above those things. And, those are amazing moments with the Holy Spirit, but more of my experiences have been the slow walking through something to prepare me for something else, but also to draw me closer to God. And I don't always see clearly what I'm being prepared for, but for me, I have this knowing in me that I'm being prepared for something. And so this is encouragement, like stay the course, and it will make sense. So kind of like the verse I shared on Sunday during communion from Luke 22, where Jesus told his disciples that, what to do to go make preparations for Passover. And it's interesting, we're in Passover week right now, but in Passover, and then it says in Luke 22 that they found it just as he told them. So it was just as Jesus said. And so it's the reminder that he goes ahead. He goes ahead of me, he goes ahead of you, and he makes preparations. And now I just need to follow what he says. I need to trust him and be open to the work that he is already prepared for me and already prepared for me to step into. And so I've been on this journey of learning how to be content in whatever situation I'm in. It's one of the journeys. There's multiple journeys that the Lord is walking with me through. And it's this one, to be content wherever I'm at, has been a long journey because I like things to be a certain way. I have preferences. I have strong opinions how I want things to be. And there's things that just bring me comfort that I want. And when I moved here in 2018 and I had the chance to live with my wonderful in-laws for 2 years. They're absolutely wonderful. I had to learn, though, to live with less of my stuff. Like we had a room in their house, and we were in someone else's house, and so of course they had their own way of doing things. And so in that process, the Holy Spirit was doing a deeper work in me to realize what did I really need, and to let go of the things I thought I needed to be content or to be comfortable, and what was comfort, what was comfortable, what was that? And of course, having things my own way. And I realized over that process of 2 years, and then eventually we moved into our own place, I realized, you know what, I can live a lot lighter. I don't need like the stuff that I thought I needed. And it gave having less stuff around me, it gives me more time for things that are more satisfying for my soul, things that actually bring me closer to God. And that stuff and the things that I thought I needed in my life were actually, in many ways, was keeping me from Him. And so by being content in whatever situation I'm in, there's joy in that. And I experienced like a new and a deeper joy. And so those 2 years were the Holy Spirit preparing my heart, refining me, and the deletion of things actually have become a blessing to me. And so I've seen how that weight has been taken off my shoulders, and I have more time and more energy for other things that are things of the kingdom. And that's been very cool to experience in that process. So God has us, His children, in a process, and He's made preparations for us. He's gone ahead, and it's for a higher purpose. It's for something more than we can fully grasp in the moment. Like the disciples didn't know as they were preparing that room for the Passover that it, was going to be as important as it was. And like today, we still celebrate communion, which is what that Last Supper was, the sharing of His body, which was the bread, and the wine, which was His blood poured out. And so they didn't know that this was going to be so, for such a higher purpose. And so today, my question for you is, what process are you in? Do you recognize the process that the Holy Spirit has you in? And do you recognize what He is doing in you? And do you trust that He has a good plan for you as you allow Him to do that work in you? So I just want to bless you to dig into that and to spend some time with the Spirit and ask Him those questions and let Him show you, what it is that He's up to, and how He's drawing you closer, and how He's refining you. And I think back to Psalm 23, where the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. And so that want and that longing is shifting and changes as we recognize that He has gone ahead. So I bless you to do that. And so this coming Sunday, we're in week 3, and I will be digging into the gifts of the Holy Spirit. And so at our salvation, we are reborn, and we get a gift. We get a gift from the Holy Spirit to help with the building of the church. And so if you want to jump ahead and do the spiritual gift survey and just check it out, if this is new for you, or maybe you haven't done a spiritual gift survey in a long time, I'll just encourage you, feel free to jump ahead, see the link attached in this email, and see what you find out. And we'll be digging in deeper on Sunday. So see you soon. Have a great week, and bye for now.